Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina Scrap. Today I want to just do a voiceover on a little creation that I did yesterday. So I wanted to craft without dealing with the camera and what I'm saying or doing. So what I did is I just turned on the camera on top of my table and now I'm doing a voiceover. I wanted to do a decoration like that we can use on a page or a junk journal cover, and it turned out to be a junk journal cover. But see how I start everything. I started with a printed on fabric design. I started with the rose, but I wanted to show you how I tiered the fabric, so I ended up switching to that cute little teddy bear. Um, and then I've been I wanted to use the fancy yarns because lots of you bought some during the weekend. I'm out of stock right now, but they will come back shortly because my daughter is already working on creating new ones. And this polka dot fabric is my Odulcina fabric. So some of you got some in the bundles that I had listed, but I placed the order this week, so it's gonna go in production and the shipping for my whole collection. So I'm expecting to be able to list some in about 3 weeks. And I'm gonna create new bundles and everything. This time I'm gonna do a heads up. Like I will probably try to do the video on the Thursday for putting everything on sale the Saturday morning, so everybody would kind of know and have a chance, because I got lots of emails about from you that couldn't get boxes and fabric and that kind of stuff. So everything, I just started slow because I didn't know if the price would be okay, if there would be any interest in that, my fabric, my Ödulcina fabric, my fancy yarns and everything, the box, the Anne's favorite box, but it's been all gone within hours. So I am reordering everything and repackaging everything with my daughter, and we'll have more to come. Don't be desperate. So I'm using herbal teas. As you can see, one was not big enough, so I'm playing with two, and I'm just gluing like that. When I know that, let's say the teddy bear, the little flowers, the cheesecloth, the bow on that 3D embossed paper looked okay, I know that I won't add more on that. And if I add more, it doesn't matter if I glue those already in place. So I glued already the 3 flowers, the bow, the fabric on the cheesecloth, on the 3D embossed paper, the roses there. And then I keep going on with my layers. So under my 3D embossed paper, I love to add the herbal teas that some of the member families had, and I let them dry, and then I open the bag, remove everything inside, and just keep the bag. And it's all stained, and then I shrink it and I glue it with folds, and it creates some dimension. I think most of you that are trying to do a style similar to mine, you just don't put, and you have a hard time, you just forget about layers maybe, and that your layers should not be flat. So even if you put 3 or 4 papers stacked together, if they do not have folds, they look flat. So you can see that with the cheesecloth, it gives a non-flat dimension. With the herbal tea bags, it gives a non-flat dimension. And if you use just paper or fabric, you need to, if you want to do my style, you need to create folds and glue it with folds. That's the trick. So you create lots of layers, and you make sure that there's folds. You're going to see in that process, I'm going to add more and more. I'm building up. So then I wanted to see how it would like on a cover. So it's an envelope. It's a 9 by 12 envelope inches that I coffee stained with a stencil, so it has a pattern. So I don't want to hide the whole pattern, but I need to add dimensions. So this is why I added that Crafty Me Shop band, the beige one, under my pink polka dot, and it kind of doesn't hide the whole envelope, but it gives a dimension. It adds some beige, so it goes well. Then I wanted to have some hooks on the sides, like for the spine. Even if it's just a fold, it's a one signature journal. I'm gonna add this lace just to make sure that the spine is more sturdy where the signature will be sewn through. So I'm using laces. So you're gonna see I'm trimming the lace to the measure. I make sure both are the same. And this is the little leftover. And as you could see, I was adding some glue. So maybe you want to go back a little bit from in my video to see. I've been using my hot glue to kind of glue the threads of those beads before cutting my lace. If you don't glue the lace on both sides of where you're going to cut the lace, you're going to lose, you have good chances to lose your beads because that thread will not be attached to anything, and then with the weight of the bead it's gonna eventually fall. So my trick is to glue both sides of where I'm gonna cut my thread when there's beads involved, and I make sure that the threads that's gonna pass where I'm gonna cut with my scissors are glued both sides. And then I cut, and that allows the threads to stay firmly into place even if I cut the lace. So it's going on. I'm adding a flower to keep going on. I have this leftover of the lace, so I'm trying to see does it fit somewhere, and oh, I love this place, so it's gonna go there. Adding more dimension, just sometime a little bit of lace, like an inch or an inch and a half, or just one little flower or just one piece, it's sufficient. And now the bottom right corner, I thought it was a little bit too flat, so I'm gonna add those music sheets that I tear and I fold. I use a lot of those as a ruffle on the edge of my pages. That was that one I didn't like, so I'm trying with another one. You know, none of them are the same, right? So usually I do them in bulk, and I just grab one. You know, I can watch a video and I fold a dozen of those papers, or even 30 of those pages, and then when I want to create, they're already done. So under the flower, I want to add some dimension again. So I'm gonna use another herbal tea, and it does the job. I love it. So I'm gonna glue it on top of it. You see, I'm just adding dimension. I could stop here, but I thought, oh, a ruffle would be nice, a fabric ruffle or a sari silk ruffle. I had some already done, so I'm just seeing if the length is good and if I love the style. And I love it all actually, but my favorite has been this one, so I'm gonna end up gluing this one. So you can look at the page now. It has lots of dimension. It has lots of element. We see all the elements. So now this is what I'm going to do to glue without moving the elements to a wrong place. So I'm starting with what's on top a little bit just to secure them. So I secured the ruffle paper, the music sheet, and now I'm securing the layers at the bottom of the page because I'm going to be able to go from the top to glue the remaining. So I'm securing this lace that will go through the spine, and this way they don't move. Now, to be handy, I'm gonna switch my envelope as well. So you see, I'm lifting and I don't have any problem lifting because what's on top is already kind of glued. You just need to make sure that when you glue the stuff on top, you don't go over 2 or 3 layers and then you won't be able to lift the other layers. So you just put tiny bits of glue to hold on the current layer. And then when the other layers will be done, you can come back and add more glue to the top elements. I hope I didn't confuse you by saying that. But look at that. I'm gluing just a tiny bit of the herbal tea so the herbal tea won't move. Then I can lift. Here it's been a little bit more messy. But most of everything on top is glued, and this lace that I just moved aside, I know where it goes, so I'll just reglue it right away after that. So I'm adding glue, but everything else is not really moved away from its place except the lace with the beads. So now I can glue the fabric, and if you're using a hot glue gun, just go in small sections. If you don't want to have a glue that is too bulky, you need to glue small sections and use the spatula or your fingers and flatten the glue before it dries, because otherwise you're gonna feel the bulkiness of the dried glue that has not been flattened. And so this is why I'm always gluing little sections. I use the spatula to flatten the hot glue before it dries. And sometimes I have to press harder to just make sure. And that's the trick with the hot glue. Either you are really, really quick, like in that case, I wanted to go one-shot deal. So I've been really, really quick. Of course, this video is not the real time. I've put the speed to be faster a little bit, just so you don't get too bored with seeing me. I think the speed is okay, right? You see enough, it doesn't go too quick, and you don't get bored at actually looking at how I do it. Anyway, I'm always open to hear your comments about that. If you feel like it goes too quick or it's still too slow, just let me know in the comments below. So I'm trimming a little bit the edges because it's the finishing, right? So I'm now ready to glue again. And again, you see, I just put a tiny piece of glue and then I glue, especially when I put the first glue of an element. I just put kind of a corner, and then I can move a little bit the element if I was not straight, or if I need to move it a little bit when I look at the end results. Now I'm creating the folds and adding glue to the herbal tea. See, initially I just put a big dot of glue in the middle to secure its place, but now I'm doing the finishing. So I create more folds and I add glue to all the pieces or the sides that needed some glue. You don't want to glue everything. You want some looseness. You want stuff to be a little bit floppy, but you don't want them to be able to move too much and that it looks not good. So again, the ruffle, I'm just gluing little pieces by pieces, flatten the hot glue, and move on like that. For this video, I'm gonna stop here. I'll just add a little tassel that I've created with the fancy yarn, and in the next video, this is what I'm gonna show you how to do those cute little tassels. They're fast and easy to do, and how to attach them to any kind of journal. So I did some already, and just to show you, I'm going to show you quickly the ones that I've done, pick one and show you how it would look like with this cover. But in the next video, I'm going to do them with you, and I'm going to attach them as well. So you're going to see the whole process in the next video. And I don't forget, I still need to create the tutorial video of the journals that are listed in my shop currently, that flap on a side and you have another journal or a notepad on the other side, with my French teacher's contract that I showed you in the previous video. So have a great week and see you in the next video. Bye bye.